I wanted to go for therapy, but then when I checked the price of therapy, I had to go on my knees to God in prayers. Yes, it was that time. It was that time. And guess what? These 7 books cost about 100k. Daughters Who Walk This Path by Yejinde Ewe. Hi everyone. So one of my goals for this year is to read more books, especially as a writer. Sometimes, as a writer, you get too focused on writing, but it is also important that you read books because you are writing books that you want to be read. So it's good to read other people's books. And for someone like myself who tends to share a lot of knowledge when I write, I believe that people also share a lot of knowledge when they write as well. And to access this knowledge, you are going to have to find them in books. And so I went book shopping and I got a ton of books. So let's unbox them. These books I got from Book Bliss. I got them from Book Bliss on Instagram. That's their name. It is an online bookstore where you can find different kinds of books, and yeah, they're very interesting. I'll tell you why I bought more of these books, and yeah, while I'm looking forward to them. These ones I got them from Roving Heights in Abuja. They are a physical bookstore where you can walk in to shop. They have 2 shops in Abuja. They have one in Wuse 2 and in Gariki as well. So these are the books I got first. These are the books I've got since this year. So the first book I got was this one, This Thing Called Love by Oreva. I don't know who she is, but I know from her name I can tell that she's from Delta, which I am from as well. So This Thing Called Love is a very, very popular book. I've been seeing it on Instagram for time, and I'm like, okay, this sounds interesting. Apparently it is a collection of short stories, and from the feedback, the reviews, it is a very interesting book to read. A book about love, a book about friendship, and a lot of fun stuff. So I'm looking forward to reading this book. I really like, let me just say this, as an author myself who has been reading books from a young age, I want to say that one thing I've noticed with the authors of this time is how audacious they are with book covers. The colors that they go for, their book designs is just so attractive, so audacious, so confident, and I like it because I also love colors, but sometimes you want to go with like what is conventional, and I've never been a conventional person. So, and I like the fact that authors have been intentional about standing out with their book covers. And it's something I noticed when I went book shopping. All of the books in the bookshop, they are so vibrant, so colorful, so beautiful, so attractive. So even if you will not buy it for what is inside, you can judge the book by the cover. Yeah, literally, you can judge the book by the cover, and I love it. So this is a very colorful book. It's called This Thing Called Love, and I'm looking forward to reading it. If you have read it, please leave a comment, but no spoilers. Don't tell me about the book. Just leave a comment and say you've read it and if it is a good book or not. Now, the second book that I got, actually, I went to Roving Heights for like a list of 5 books, but they didn't have any of them. I walked around and then I found this one. So I picked this one spontaneously. This one says, your problem is that you are multi-talented. So if you are a multi-talented person, you want to read this book, especially now that you are a banker, you are also a chef, you are also an MC, you're also a fashion designer. It's okay to be multi-talented or be a multi-potentialite, but knowing how to maximize your gifts and potentials as a multi-potentialite is very important. This book is by Dr. Samuel Okundayo. None of this came on recommendation. I just walked into them and I bought them. And it seems promising, it seems interesting. So keep your eyes out and get this book. Let me know if you've read it as well, but don't tell me what it is about, okay? The third book that I got from the store, this one was a breath taker or an side stopper, something like that. Like when I saw this book, I literally paused and I was like, excuse me? Not really because of the title of the book. The title is fun and vibrant. The title is Tales of an Orobokibokibo. Tales of an Orobokibokibo. Jesus Christ. Though the title is very unique and very fun, and as a Nigerian, you would immediately relate to this title. However, what got my attention and why I actually bought this book was when I opened the table of content. I was like, whoa. Okay, this is what the table of content looks like. I'm not going to read it out to you, but I'm going to show you a picture of it so that, yeah, that's what I mean. So yeah, it is a memoir by April Ifunanya C. Izundu. And it's a memoir, so it's a true life story, obviously, and I love it. I saw it at the fiction section of the bookshop and I picked it up. And I remember asking the seller, why is this on a fiction section? I was wondering if memoirs are now classified as fiction, because that's why I picked it up. And she was like, oh, they've sold it more on the fiction section rather than on the biography section where it is supposed to be. So memoirs and all of that are on a biography section. And I was like, it's good if people did that. It's good if people put it on the fiction section, because I personally wouldn't have gone to a biographic section of a bookshop to buy books. Even though I'm hoping to write a memoir someday, but I hope they don't put it in the biography section. Anyway, back to this book. This book seems very promising. From the title, it already drags you in. And then the table of content. And another thing about this book is that of all of these books that are here on this table, this book is the most expensive of them. Yeah. This book, I got it as of February 2026. I got it for 25,000 naira. Yeah. I remember I was like contemplating, should I buy it? Is it worth it? Because I didn't even go for any of these books. I just went to buy specific books, but they didn't have it. And then I bumped into these ones and then I decided to buy them. And when they calculated the three of them, they brought my bill, 43,000. I was like, sorry? what are the prices? How did we get here? And she said that this one is 25k. And I was like, I quickly went to look her up on Instagram and just like see if, it's a story if something I want to invest in. But yeah, I just kind of went with it. And I think I would really love the book because it's a true life story. And yeah. And mind you, I have to say this because as you're going, you might be wondering, oh, are there only non-fiction books? Yes, I am a non-fiction writer. And quite honestly, I really love to read non-fiction books because I write non-fiction, and the non-fiction that I write is not as boring. It's not boring as people describe non-fiction to be. People tend to be like, oh, fiction gives you this imaginative world, But when people write about their lives or tell real life stories, it also gives you an experience into their lives as well. So non-fiction is not boring as people put it. And so I enjoy reading non-fiction because it helps me to take away real life principles that I can apply to my life, that I can apply to different aspects of my life, and real takeaways from people's experiences and true stories, not necessarily fiction. So as you would look at the books that I bought, this is probably the only fiction book that you would find, unfortunately, for fiction lovers. But yeah, I know this will be an interesting book, but I'm trying to give myself a window into reading more of fiction books. But I personally love non-fiction, and I write non-fiction mostly. So these three books, I got them after watching a video on a books recommendation by Ezine Zara on YouTube. So in January, during my personal retreat, one of the things I was gravitated to, I'm not so much of a TV person or even a YouTube person, but one of the things I was gravitated to was to watch more of YouTube videos while I was withdrawn in my personal retreat. I was also off social media during that 21 days or more than that in January. And I was watching a lot of YouTube videos, and I really watched a lot of Ezine Zara's videos, which are more of spirituality and all of that, and they were really helpful during that time. So thank you, girl, if you're listening to this. So the first one is Good Morning, Holy Spirit by Benny Hinn. One of my goals for this year is to build a much more deeper level of intimacy with God, and I've already started doing that. I've been on that journey for years, and yeah, so reading more books on that would definitely make it easier or faster or smoother, because God doesn't only speak through the Bible or through preachings and all of that. He also speaks through the wisdoms of other people, so through books like this. So this is a book by Benny Hinn. Good Morning Holy Spirit. Yeah, it seems promising. I haven't read them yet, as I said, but it seems promising if you really want to go deeper in your relationship with God, want to be able to understand the Holy Spirit, how it works, and all of that. So I recommend this book. I recommend it even though I haven't read it yet, but I know it will be promising. This one excites me so much. This is The Purpose Driven Life. Is by Rick Warren. The Purpose Driven Life by Rick Warren. It says, what on earth am I here for? What on earth am I here for? I bought this book because I have written a book. About a lot of things, and one of the things that my book includes is about purpose. I talk about purpose in self-discovery. I also talk about purpose in the part of the book I have about God, discovering purpose. So as someone who has written from my own life experiences and my own knowledge on that, I decided that this would be an interesting thing to read, just to see how people also think about purpose in relation to how I see it. So I thought this would be a really good book to get, The Purpose Driven Life. If you're trying to figure out your purpose, I recommend it. It's a very, very interesting book. As I said, I love non-fiction books that tell me about life, about navigating life through the lenses of other people's experiences. So this book promises to be a really, really good book. Now, this book came highly recommended as well. It is called Redeeming Love. It is a novel, so I believe it is a fiction book. Oh, actually, so there are two fiction books, not one as I thought. So there's this one, this thing called Love, and this one, which is Redeeming Love by Francine Rivers. So I bought two fiction books, not one. I haven't read any of her books, unfortunately. I don't know what that makes me sound like, but I haven't. This would be my first book of hers that I'm reading, but I hear that she's a very popular and brilliant author as well. So the book is about obeying God, marriage, and one of the things I have also written about in my new book, which will be coming soon, is about marriage as well. I think it will be an interesting book. It's a bit bulky, but for someone who has written a really bulky book, I should be able to read bulky books as well in it. Now, to one of the books I am most excited about. I don't know why I'm excited about this book. Maybe it's because I have written something and this book it looks similar to the book I have just written. The title of this book is Everything I Know About Love, but the cover is quite eccentric, right? Because it doesn't just say everything I know about love straight up. It says everything I know about parties, cancel, dates, cancel, friends, cancel, jobs, cancel, life, cancel, and then it left love. So you would read so when I first saw this book, I thought, why it was advertised by a bookseller online, and I thought, why did they use a pen to cancel? I thought it was like a written pen that was used to cancel it. I was like, why did the person spoil the book cover? But I did not know that this actually came. This is actually how the book comes. This is the design of the, and it was really, really unconventional, really, really eccentric, because I'm also at this stage where I am considering designs for my book cover. So, and also the things that it's cancelled or highlighted here in this book are also things I talk about in my book. I talk about jobs, relationships, friendships, life, love, marriage, purpose, and all of that. Although this doesn't cover a lot of what I covered in my book, so my book is more extensive, but I really love this because, yeah, the title as well is quite captivating, and this is actually the author's first book, and guess what, it is already a Sunday Times bestseller. Everything I Know About Love. It is a non-fiction book, and I love it because it actually looks, from the outside you would guess that it is a fiction book, but it is not fiction, it is non-fiction, and it is absolutely brilliant. Yeah, I love books that talk about people's experiences and life generally, so I'm looking forward to reading this book. I'm excited about what I would find while reading this book. And these are the books. Now to the books for last year. I got these books for last year, and my God, they really helped me, because last year was a really tough year for me. Not the whole of the year, the beginning of last year, January specifically, was really tough for me mentally. God really helped me. I made a tweet sometime in 2025 saying that I wanted to go for therapy, but then when I checked the price of therapy, I had to go on my knees to God in prayers. Yes, it was that time. It was that time. And one of the books I read during that time, those tough times, mentally tough times, was this by Vex King, Healing is the New High. My God, this book is very, very, like, it spoke to me in that moment. It was what I needed. It says a guide to overcoming emotional turmoil and finding freedom. A guide to overcoming emotional turmoil and finding freedom. Yeah, it's a perfect book if you are navigating trauma, if you're navigating stress, heart, whatever it is. This is the book you should get. I got this one for 19,000 naira, also from Roving Heights, sometime in 2025. So I don't know what the price is now, but yeah, it's a really, really good book. I read it already. This one says the things you can see only when you slow down. I got it because, and let me mention that these 3 books I got because I saw them on Nancy Sime's Instagram stories, and I was like, they align with what I would like to read, and that's why I bought them. So thank you, Nancy Sime girl, if you're watching this. This one also came in quite useful, quite on time for that period of my life where I was going through a lot emotionally and I needed something. So it says the things you can see only when you slow down. And during that period, if you know me, you know that every year at the beginning of the year, January and February, only January alone, I usually go on a personal retreat where I withdraw from everybody, withdraw from social media, all my social media platforms as well. And this was what I needed for that period of my life when I was slowing down, because I was actually slowing down. Because the thing with life is that it just keeps going, it doesn't stop, life doesn't end. Like, you just have to snatch yourself out of it for some time and fix yourself up, go for that retreat, pause, slow down, and then come back to the hustle and bustle of life again. And that's what I did during that time, and this book helped me navigate that. The things you can't see only when you slow down. It is by Heimin Sunim, and I absolutely love it. So I recommend it. The price is still here. I got this one for 18,000 naira. And then this one I haven't read. I got it as well last year alongside these ones, but I haven't read it. It says Daughters Who Walk This Path by Yejide Kilanko. Pardon me for my Yoruba, please. I'm not Yoruba. I'm just trying. And it is a novel. It is a fiction book, I believe. Yeah, it is a fiction book. It says Daughters Who Walk This Path. I'm a girl, I'm a daughter, and my parents have only daughters. So we have 5 girls in my family. And so this book, when I saw the daughters, just kind of got my attention and I decided to get it. So Daughters Who Walk This Path by Yejide Kilanko. Yeah, I haven't read it yet, and it's just hanging there on my library, but I'm looking to read it. So these ones I bought this year and I haven't read it. This one is 5,000 naira. I got it. This one I got for 14,000 naira. This one I got for, I think, 14,000 naira as well. This one I got for 5,000. This, I believe it was 7,000, and this was 9,000. This was 3,000, and this was the most expensive of them all, 25,000. And he also gave me confidence in terms of pricing my book, because she was so bold. She was like, buy it or leave it. That's the cost, that's the price. And in Nigeria, we would be like, oh, people don't read book, who will spend 25k to buy a book? Look, I did. People have been buying it. They said this is one of their best-selling books as well, so it's been selling and people are buying it. What are people buying it? People that want to read books. So if you're an author and you are being skeptical about pricing your book, the book that you know is worth the price, please don't be skeptical, because people will buy it. The people that will buy it will buy it. If you know you have invested much on a particular book financially, don't sell yourself short. If you want to price a book, do well to price it a price that is worth it. So yeah, this is for me as well, because the book I've just written is quite bulky and I know it will take a lot. It will cost a lot to print, and yeah, whatever the price looks like, we will see how it goes. So these are all the books I will be reading for this year. These ones I bought last year. I've read them, but I haven't read this one from last year, so I'm going to read this hopefully this year as well. But these ones I bought them this year. So these are 7 books. Yes, 7 books. Yeah, 7 books. And I'm really excited for these books. I don't know why, but I just feel pumped to read them. And guess what? These 7 books cost about 100k. Yeah, 100,000 Nigerian naira, which is currently, with the current exchange rates, would be around 50 pounds for these 7 books. In the US dollars should be around maybe 70 something dollars, but yeah, about 100,000 naira. It's okay to spend that on books because I may or may not buy books for the rest of the year, but yeah, so don't be afraid to buy books. Anyway, if you have read any of these books, please do well to tell me what you think about them, but no spoilers please, because I haven't read them yet. As I said, I just bought them during my book shopping this year. I'm looking forward to reading them. When I read them, after reading, I'll come back and share a review sometime in the year. So yeah, I'm looking forward to reading them. Thank you for watching, guys. Please share, subscribe, comment. I believe this will be one of the first videos on my YouTube channel. I'm excited. Yeah, so these are my books for the year. Yay! Thank you. Bye.